What is going on? And welcome to episode 12 of the Fight Science Made Simple podcast. If you're new, welcome. I'm Coach Adam Snyder. I'm a lifelong martial artist. I'm an MMA fighter, and I'm a performance and recovery coach for combat athletes and fighters. Super excited to have you here. If you're new to the podcast, we do these episodes every single Monday. And like the name of the podcast states, we make fight science simple. So I break down strength and conditioning, nutrition, recovery, mindset, tactics and strategies and systems to help you perform better on the mats, in the cage, in the ring, off the mats as well. So if you're new to the podcast, really happy to have you. The best thing that you can do to support the podcast is share this podcast with somebody else, a teammate, a training partner, a friend, a coach, someone that can benefit from what we're putting out. And also, if you're digging what we're putting out and you find a lot of value in these podcasts, please follow the podcast. My mission is to completely change the way that people train and approach combat sports. We're still outdated in the combat sports space when it comes to how we work out, how we train, how we fuel ourselves, how we recover. And so my goal is to help as many combat athletes and fighters as possible train for as long as possible with the most success possible. And so that's why I put these podcasts out, to help you have better cardio, better power, better nutrition, and just more confidence to really get after your goals and crush it in the fight space. So please share the podcast and follow if you find it valuable. Today's episode, I'm really excited for as we close out the year here. We're going to be talking about goal setting for the new year and annual planning for the new year. A lot of people around this time, I've been coaching for a very long time. I started learning how to coach when I was 12 years old. Initially with skills training. So I started with helping out with like little children's kids karate classes, and I grew up in my school, learning how to manage the school, teach adult classes. As I got older as a young adult, I was coaching the adults through weight loss and striking and jujitsu. And then I've been doing fight science since 2019. So I've been coaching for a very, very long time. And this time of year, it's very normal for people to maybe lose a little bit of motivation, lose a bit of momentum, fall off track from their goals, because it's just the nature of the year with the holidays, off from work, vacation time. The world itself just kind of shuts down for this time of year. But then people hit January, you know how it is, New Year's resolution. They hit January with a lot of energy and a lot of excitement. I'm going to achieve this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to make all these big goals happen. And most people fall off within the first month or two from the new year happening. And one of the biggest reasons people fail to hit their New Year's goals, and they end up in this cycle where they set these big goals, they start off strong, they fall back into old routines. I'll get to it next year, and then they kind of just stay where they are. Or most people end up getting worse and going backwards year after year, is because A, they don't write anything down, any of these goals down, and B, they don't have a vision, they don't have a plan, they don't have a path for where they're going. And one of my favorite quotes, it's kind of cliche, but everybody, you're planning to fail. Yeah, I fucked the quote up completely. It's one of my favorite quotes and I fucked it up. The quote is, if you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. I think it's like a Benjamin Franklin quote or something like that. But if you're failing to plan, you're planning to fail. And most people go into the new year without a plan. And so what I'm going to do in today's episode is help you create a plan and a system for setting goals for the new year and staying on track so you can attack the year with the most focus, the most clarity, and the highest rate of success that you'll ever have in an entire year. Whether you're looking to go 4-0 next year and crush every single fight that you accomplish, or you want to get your next belt on the mats, you want to finally lose that weight and get in incredible shape, this is going to help you do that in the best way possible. And so when it comes to goal setting at the Fight Science Collective, we have a 5-step process that I take my clients through. I actually just taught them this process on Saturday. Inside of our coaching program, we have a monthly masterclass called the Champions Code, which is basically this podcast, but on crack. We go even deeper. It's a private client only masterclass. They get private access to every single replay as a podcast. And so on Saturday, we did a really deep dive into our goal setting process. I'm going to give you some of the spark notes from that. If you want the full version of our goal setting process, you're going to have to be in our coaching program to get access to that masterclass replay. But I'm going to give you, there's going to be so much value for you here. Okay. So 5-step process that we're going to walk you through. At the end of this process, you're going to have a really solid framework on how to set goals going into the new year and how to have a plan to set you up to have the most success. Okay. Step 1 is a review of 2025. This is super important. Before you can set goals for 2026, you have to reflect back on your 2025. Chances are you have goals set for 2025. And so you have to look back. The very first thing that you're going to do when you reflect on your 2025 is to celebrate your wins. What is everything that you accomplished in this past year? The big things and the small things. The small wins are big wins. So what I want you to do is I want you to sit down and I want you to write every fucking win down. I want you to celebrate everything that you accomplished in 2025. That's the first thing that you're going to do. The second thing that you're going to do is have an honest and unemotional reflection of everything that you didn't accomplish or everything that you could have done better in. And the key word here is unemotional. All right. There's no judgment. There's no beating yourself up. There's no feeling bad about not accomplishing everything that you set out to do in this year. There's things that I set out to do that I didn't accomplish. I wanted to make my pro debut this year and I wanted to win an amateur belt this year. I tore my ACL and I've had staph infection for a year straight. None of those things happened. And so that's okay. I'm not happy that those things didn't happen. I'm also not beating myself up about it and destroying my life and feeling bad about it. There were a lot of lessons and I accomplished a lot. And you need to do the same. You need to look back and look at everything, all the goals that you set. Where did you fall short? What did you say you were going to do this year and you didn't do? What could you have done better in? You need to write all of these things down and you have to be unemotionally attached to it. You can't beat yourself up about it. So, very important. Step 1 to setting goals and crushing in 2026 is reviewing your 2025. What did you do well? Celebrate those wins hard. Where did you fall short and what could you do better? Write those things down, but do it unemotionally without any kind of judgment or attachment. Okay? That's the very first step, review. The second step, and this is super important because, when you set goals, a lot of times people say they want to accomplish things. I want to fight. I want to make it to the UFC. I want to be a world champion. I want to make $1 million. I want to have this car. I want to set my family up for life. A lot of people say they want to achieve these things, and a lot of the times, deep down in their heart, in their soul, in the deepest parts of their mind, they don't really want to accomplish those things. They just think they're goals that either would feel nice to have or they should be accomplishing or should be setting. Like, I definitely have felt that as a fighter. My goal is not to be a UFC champion, but I've been training since I was 5 years old. I've been training and fighting for a very, very long time. There was a point in my fight career where I said I wanted to be a UFC champion. I didn't really want to be a UFC champion, but I said it because it's what I thought I was supposed to say. But the reality is that goal wasn't really attached to any kind of personal values, any kind of why, any kind of deeper code. And so, step 2 of goal setting for the new year is we call this creating your personal operating system. And basically, what this is we're getting connected to your personal values. You have to understand what is your why. Why are you doing what you're doing? What is the foundation of who you are as a human and why you want to achieve anything in this life? And that has to be the backbone of every goal that you set. So, some personal values could be connection, discipline, love, integrity, hard work, right? Like, you have to understand at your core of a human being what drives you, what are your values, what impact do you want to have on this world, what do you truly want to accomplish in this world, and that needs to be the foundation of your goals. Because if you don't know your values and you set a goal, it could be very far off from what you actually want in the world. The other side of that is, like, if you know your values and you sit down to write your goals, then you can very objectively look at it and be like, okay, This goal is not aligned with my values and who I am at my core and who I want to be as a human. And so this isn't a goal that's going to serve me, but this is. And this is really important because when you're chasing goals, anything worth accomplishing in this life is going to be hard. There's going to be adversity. You're going to want to quit. You're not going to be motivated. That's just the reality of it. And so, if your goal is not deeply connected to your values and your essence and your core as a human being, what's going to happen is when adversity inevitably comes, you're going to quit or you're going to make excuses and it's going to knock you off track. But if your goal is so deeply rooted to your values and your core as a human and your why in this universe, then when that time of adversity comes, when the universe tests how bad you actually want it, when you want to quit and fall off of these goals, your values are what carry you through and keep you locked in and keep you showing up and keep you progressing, even when you don't fucking want to do it. Okay. And so if you have a hard time figuring out what your values are, you have no idea what your values are, you've never done any kind of exercise like this, one thing that you can do, this is a prompt that I actually got from my mentor that I give to my clients now. It's a prompt that you can put into Chat GPT, and all you're going to write is act as a skilled interviewer. Your job is to extract, clarify, and confirm my personal values. Ask one question at a time and do not move forward until I answer. Keep it conversational, concise, and non leading. So put that prompt into ChatGPT and it will help you extract your personal values. Once you know your personal values, then you can write those down and then you can start to create goals around your personal values. And that's part of step 2, right? We call this creating your personal operating system. What is your foundation? What is the system that you operate as? Like if you think about your phone runs on an operating system. It's the code that allows your phone to do everything that it does. You have an operating system. What is your code? Your personal values are the foundation of that code. So run that Chat GPT prompt. The second thing that you need to do in creating your personal operating system, and what I do, is writing down supporting affirmations. Okay. An affirmation is like an I am statement. I am grateful. I am confident. I am the best fighter in the world. Abundance flows my way. And these are statements that are going to be aligned with your values and what you want to accomplish most and who you want to be the most in this world. And I know affirmations can sound a little like voo voo, oh, we're manifesting, but they're super powerful and they're so strong and powerful at helping you achieve whatever you want to achieve, whether you want to be a world champion, whether you want to win more fights, whether you want to make a ton of money, whether you want to be the best dad or mother possible. You need to have these affirmations to reprogram your base programming in your brain. You see, like when you grow up, your brain, your subconscious brain, it picks up patterns through parents, through coaches, through life experience. And this base programming and pattern is you, it's who you are. And what happens is we pick up a lot of beliefs about ourselves and about the world and about others. And a lot of these beliefs can be limiting beliefs that hold you back from success. So if you have a really big goal that might be a little bit scary, but you feel some level of doubt or some level of uncertainty or some level of fear or something is holding you back from achieving what you want to achieve, chances are it's probably you and it's probably a limiting belief that you have. And so by having a list of affirmations that you read every single day, it allows you to start reprogramming those limiting beliefs into empowering beliefs. A great example at like a surface level could be like if you feel like you are a shitty wrestler, this is another personal example, and you tell yourself, I'm a shitty wrestler, I'm not a good wrestler, I'm a better striker, then that's going to be your reality. But if you reprogram your brain and you read it every single day, I'm a dominant wrestler, I'm an unstoppable wrestler, I'm a relentless wrestler, your actions have to back that shit up, right? You can't just read that every single day and expect it to be true. You have to show up to practice, you have to watch film, you have to build your cardio, you have to do all the things that a successful wrestler would do. But reading that out loud, your subconscious brain will hear that and it will start to be reprogrammed. And so the same thing needs to be true for whatever you're setting out. I am a champion. I'm the best in the world. I'm unstoppable. I'm relentless. I'm disciplined. Whatever the programming you need to succeed in your goals is, like, it needs to be written into your personal operating system. So step one is a review of 2025. What did you accomplish? What did you do well? What did you fall short? What could you have done better? Step two is creating a personal operating system, getting really connected with what your personal values are, and then writing down a list of affirmations with the 2.0 version of yourself, right? Updating your operating system into what you want to accomplish and who you want to be, to have the biggest impact on the world, honestly, but B, to get the most fulfillment and enjoyment and success you possibly can on and off the mats. Step three is, the fun part, is the goal setting part. Once you get the foundational stuff out of the way, then you can start setting goals. And when we set goals at the Fight Science Collective, we set 4 kinds of goals, okay? And we have 7 different categories that we set goals in. But we'll talk about those in a little bit. It's very important that when you set goals, there are laws that your goals have to fit into. I don't know if you've heard the term SMART goal before, but this is a really important framework. I didn't pick up this framework. I didn't invent it, but it is a really, really key framework in order to help you succeed. It gives you clarity, it gives you specificity, and it just helps you stay on track and make sure that your goals are actually something that are within your bounds of achieving. So, SMART goals, the S stands for specific. You have to be really, really, really specific and clear on exactly what it is that you're looking to accomplish. Then there's M. It needs to be measurable. You need to have some way, some kind of data to track your progress and know if you achieve that goal or not. If you're trying to get better cardio, then your resting heart rate could be a great metric to measure the improvement of your cardio. Okay. Uh, the second thing is that it needs to be attainable, right? It needs to be within your bounds. So one example could be, if you haven't even made your amateur debut yet, then it's not an attainable goal for you to make it to the UFC in 2026. That's not going to happen. Okay. So probably a more attainable goal would be like, okay, I'm going to make my pro debut, my amateur debut, and then I'm going to go undefeated as an amateur. That's an attainable goal. It has to be realistic. You have to be able to accomplish it in that time frame. It also has to be a relevant goal. It has to be relevant to you, and it has to be relevant to the bigger goals that you have. So, like, for example, if your big goal is to become a UFC champion, but then you have another goal that's set around like breaking record marathon times or racing cars, or you're setting goals that are not attached to your primary goal, then there's going to be a lack of congruency. And so you have to think about like what your big goals are, what all of your goals are, and how they connect to your values. And there has to be some kind of relevance between them and who you are at your core. And the final part is time bound. Put a time stamp on it. Put a due date. Put a deadline on the goals that you set, because there's this rule, a law of the universe. It's called Parkinson's law, where work expands to the time that you allot for it. So an example could be like, if you're gonna go and train, I'm gonna go lift weights, and I don't have any kind of plan, and I'm just gonna go to the gym and I'm gonna machine hop. It might take you 3 hours to do that workout. Whereas, like, okay, I'm gonna hit these exercises and I only have an hour to get them in. You're gonna probably hit those exercises in that hour. Whereas if you don't give yourself a time frame, it's gonna take you way longer than an hour to get it done. And goals are the same way, right? If you say like, okay, I want to lose X amount of pounds, but you don't set a time frame on it, then the chances of you losing that weight are much lower, because you're just going to push it off and push it off and push it off and push it off. Where it's like, okay, I have 12 weeks to lose 20 pounds. Okay, you're going to lock the fuck in and lose the weight. So you have to have a time bound goal. So that's the SMART goal framework. Okay, specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. Okay, so that's the first. Those are the laws of setting goals. Now, like I said, we're going to set 4 kinds of goals across 7 different categories. Okay. So the 4 goals that we're going to set, you're going to set a big dream. Okay. What is your most aspirational goal? It should be almost a little scary. I'm going to be a double champ. I'm going to be a UFC champ. It should be like, oh, fuck. Can I really do that? There should be a little bit of fear and a little bit of uncertainty attached to it. It should be a big, massive goal. If it's like, yeah, I can do that. If you're super comfortable with the goal, it's not big enough. Okay. But it has to be realistic as well. Like, I'm going to be a 4-time division champion. A 4 division champion, probably not a realistic goal. Okay. So it's got to be realistic, but it's got to be a little bit scary as well. So we're going to set big dream goals. Then we're going to set 5-year goals. In the next 5 years, where are you going to be? There's going to be a longer term goal that's going to be an intermediate step to help you get to your big dream goal. So, what are your 5-year goals? Write it down. Then, your 3-year goals. What is a more moderate step? Still bigger than now, but a more moderate step that'll lead you to your 5-year goal, that'll lead you to your big dream goal. And then your 1-year goal. All right. What are you going to accomplish in 2026? All right. That is the most actionable and the most specific goal that you set. Your 3, 5 big dream goals, they might change over time as you gain more life experience, as you change as a human, as different things shift. And so you can dream, you have full permission to dream as big as possible when you set these goals, but your 1-year goal is going to be the most specific. 3-year goal is going to be a little bit less specific. 5-year goal is going to be less specific. Big goal is going to be more of that dreaming output. Okay. So those are the 4 category or the 4 kinds of goals that you're going to set. And now you're going to set 7 categories for your goals. 7 different kind of goals that you're going to set within each time frame. Okay. So our 7 categories, you're going to set financial goals. All right. Goals related to your money in big dreams, 5 years, 3 years, 1-year time frame. Then relationship goals. This could be friends, families, partners, children. You're going to do the same thing. Our 4 categories: big goal, 5-year, 3-year, 1 goal. You're going to set relationship goals. Then you're going to do the same with career goals. If you're a fighter, this is going to be about your fight career. How many times are you going to fight? What are you going to accomplish? What belts are you going to get? What kind of recognition are you going to get? What's your brand going to look like? If you're a hobbyist, this could be related to your actual career, right? Like what different landmarks in your job are you going to hit as a firefighter, as an accountant, right? You're going to set your career goals. Then you're going to set your physical goals, okay? Whether it's about losing weight or it's about your health, or if you're a hobbyist, this could be about, I'm going to get my black belt by X amount of time, right? Like physical goals about your body, about your health. Very important. Then your mental goals. This is going to be about mindset. This is going to be about mental resilience. Again, over our 4 different categories. Then you're going to set spiritual goals. This could be related to God, religion, faith, presence. If you're not as religious, some kind of spiritual connection for yourself. And then the final category of goals, they're going to be your environmental goals. So these are going to be the spaces that you live, where you live, what you have in your space, what your space looks like, how you approach your space. And those 7 categories are really important. Okay. So you're going to first, step 1, we're going to review. You're going to review your 2025, what went well, where could you have done better. Then you're going to create your personal operating system based on your personal values and beliefs, and then your list of affirmations that are aligned with those beliefs. Then you're going to set your goals. Every goal that you're set is going to be a SMART goal. You're going to set big goals, big dreams, 5-year goals, 3-year goals, 1-year goals over the course of 7 categories: finances, career, relationships, physical health, mental health, spirituality, and your environment. Okay. Very important. Write all this shit down. Like, you got to have all this down, have your vision, have it in place. And it's so important that you write it down, because if it just lives in your head, then it, our thoughts and emotions change every single day, throughout the seconds, throughout the minutes. And so these things get convoluted. And what happens is, you know what you want at your core, but you might wake up one morning and you're having a bad day, or emotionally something happened in your life and it's wrecking you. Or, like, a great example, I'll give you another personal example: my staph infection. It's fucking with my head a little bit. I haven't been able to train in over a week, and I'm probably not going to be able to train in another 2 weeks. It fucking sucks. I've had staph infection for over a year. I tore my ACL. I had my first loss this year. These are all challenging things that have happened, and there are a lot of days where I've woken up and I haven't wanted to do the things that are aligned with me going pro, me being the fucking best coach for fighters on the planet, for me really filling and fulfilling my greatest potential. But because my goals and my vision are so clear and connect to my values, and I have them written down, I can read them every single day, it keeps me showing up and it keeps me putting the work in even when I don't want to. All right. That's why writing this shit down is so important. Okay. So that's step 3. Step 4 of this entire process is, once you know what your goals are, you're going to start to outline the execution of your goals. At Fight Science, what I do is I teach our clients how to organize their goals and their life like a CEO would organize their business. So if you think about a calendar year, the year is broken up into 4 quarters, okay? Q1 is January through March. Q2 is April through May, June, January, February, March, April, May, June. Yep, gotta count on my fingers. It's cool. Q3 is July through September, and then Q4 is October through December. All right. And so what you're gonna do is you're gonna break your life up into these 4 quarters, and then your list of goals that you have for the year, you're going to roughly outline when you're going to prioritize each goal and when you're going to accomplish them throughout the year. Now, the Mike Tyson quote, everybody has a plan to get punched in the face, is very true. You're going to set this plan for yourself and you're going to have this outline, and chances are shit is going to get in the way. There are going to be speed bumps. You're going to plan all this and unexpected things are going to pop up. But it's better to have some kind of plan and some kind of outline and some kind of structure than no structure at all. And one thing that I teach my clients to do is periodize their goals and their life the same way that I would periodize their strength and conditioning plan. Like when I write a strength and conditioning program for somebody, they have hard days and light days and medium days. They have hard weeks and light weeks and medium weeks. They have hard months and light months and medium months, right? Like we are undulating the intensity of their training throughout the year. And the same thing has to go through your goal setting and through your accomplishments. Like a perfect example is the holidays. The holidays are naturally going to be a lower intensity season in your life. And I think it fucks up so many people is because they don't plan for it. They're not ready for it. They forget, oh yeah, it's the holidays, and then it just shows up. Versus if you sit down at the end of the year and plan out your entire year, and you know, okay, cool, like the holiday time, probably gonna be a little bit lower intensity. Birthdays are here, probably gonna be a little bit lower intensity. I have a vacation planned here, gonna be a lower intensity. Q1, we're gonna fucking go hard. Q1's going to be a hard quarter. We're going to push it. Q2 might be a little bit more medium, but I'm going to fight here. Map out your fights, map out your competitions, map out the different events that you have going on in your life, birthday, travel, trips, holidays. Have all of these things planned ahead of time so you have an outline of what your year is going to fucking look like, so that shit doesn't sneak up on you and blindside you. And at least you're ready for the things you can control, for when the inevitable things that happen that you can't control come up, they don't wreck you as much because you have some kind of plan and some kind of outline, and you have an idea of when you're going to accomplish these things. Okay. So, step 1, review your 2025. Step 2, create your personal operating system. Step 3, set your goals. Step 4, map out the execution of your goals. And the 5th step of our goal setting process that we teach our clients is to create a vision board. I love fucking vision boards. I don't care what anybody says. I don't know if it was last year or the year before, but Joe Rogan had a podcast where he was shitting on vision boards. I disagree. I think vision boards are fucking awesome because it gives you a visual representation of what you want to accomplish, who you want to be, where you want to go in this world, what you want to have, how you want to feel, and it allows you to put yourself into that version of yourself, to visualize what it feels like to accomplish those things. And this just helps with the process of reprogramming your subconscious brain and rebuilding you into that version of yourself that you can envision. So what I do is, once I set my goals, I actually do this with my partner Alexandra. We create our vision boards together because it's fun and it's cute. We also set our goals together for the year because we have a lot of alignment in our relationship and where we want to go in our lives. We're very much on board for each other and ourselves as a unit. And so, what I'll do is think about my goals that I set and really determine what is the most aligned for me in that moment. And then I'll go on Google and I'll go on Pinterest and I'll find images that have really the most, that give me the most emotional feeling about what I want to accomplish. Like I go based on feeling what resonates with me the most. And I take those images and then I use something like Canva to turn them into a collage. And then I set it as the background of my phone. And that's my phone background for the entire year is my vision board. What Ali and I are actually going to do this year, I'm still going to do that. I've done that for the last 2 years. But I also want to create a physical vision board where we're going to get magazines and cut out images and build it together, because I think the activity of dream building with your partner is such a powerful tool to visualize your dreams together, solidify your dreams together, create a lot of alignment in your relationship. And it's a good date idea to dream together. It's very, very powerful. So we're going to create a physical vision board as well. The other thing that I'll do with our clients is we'll have them take images, or we'll take their vision board, and we'll put it into their personal operating system document. Because everything that you have, from your values to your affirmations to your 5-year big dream, 3-year, 1-year goal, it's all going to go in one document that, like, for me, it's on the notes section of my phone, so I can read through it every single day. I can skim through the affirmations. I can really be focused on my goals. Some people, they'll print it out and have it on a piece of paper. Other people will write it on a note card, but it needs to be somewhere where you can see it every single day. And the same goes for your vision board. It's just a visual representation of the goals that you set for yourself. Very, very important. And that's it. That's the 5-step process to goal setting and planning your year for 2026 domination. Step 1 is going to be a review of 2025. What went well? What didn't go well? Step 2 is going to be creating your personal operating system, connecting with your personal values and having affirmations that support those values and goals. Step 3 is going to be setting your goals. They're going to be SMART goals. You're going to set a big goal, a 5-year goal, a 3-year goal, a 1-year goal over across 7 different categories: finances, career, relationships, physical health, mental health, spirituality, and environment. You're going to write that all down into one document. You're going to map out the execution of the year. When are you achieving those goals? When are your low, medium, and high intensity seasons? When are the different events of your life? Put it in a calendar, map it out, and then you're going to create a vision board for all of this, photos and images that represent what you're going to accomplish and who you're going to be. They're going to be a combination of your big goals, your 5-year goal, 3-year goal, 1-year goal. You compile it into one image. Okay. Some keys to success to help you really crush this entire process is read your goals every single day. Outline action steps to achieve your goals, because it's one thing to have the goals, but at the end of the day, you cannot control most of what happens in your life. You can't really control if you achieve your goals or not, but you can achieve the actions that you take every single day. So one of my favorite things to do is you take your goals, you take your intentions, you write them down, you set them, and then you leave them up to the universe. You leave them up to God, and then you just focus on what you can control, which is taking action every single day. So outline those actions that you're going to take every single day. And if you're in a relationship, if you have a partner, whether it's a girlfriend, partner, wife, husband, whatever it is, I highly recommend doing this process with them. Like what I'm going to do with Ali, I'm going to set my business and my fight career goals, and I'm going to outline our financial goals. I'm going to do that separately. And then we're going to sit down together and we're going to plan the rest of our year together. She's going to set her own personal individual goals, and then we're going to come together and we are on each other's teams. We are designing our life to support each other's goals, both individually and as a unit. We have so much alignment for everything that we're doing, and we're consistently talking about it all the time and checking in and making sure that we're on the same page. So I encourage you to do the same. All right. But there you go. That's a quick outline. Like I said, we have a deeper dive inside of the Fight Science coaching program on specifically how to do this. There's a worksheet, an entire process that we take our clients through. If you're interested in learning a bit more about our coaching, or at least just seeing if I can help you, feel free to shoot me a DM me the word collective on Instagram, and I'll reach out and see how I can help. But do not procrastinate this. The year's almost over. Lock in. We only have, I think, 16 days left of the year, so it's going to fly by. Again, thanks for checking out the episode. If you found it valuable, why don't you follow the podcast? Why don't you share this podcast with a friend, a teammate, training partner, coach? And until next time, have a great week. I'll catch you guys next week. Peace.